Hi guys, it's your girl Chi Chi over here on Get the Tea with the Chi. I'm here today to give you another review or recap on our show Catfish. Okay guys, this is season 2 episode 4 recap, okay? And this actually was a surprise to me, this particular episode, because something that has never happened on Catfish before happened on Catfish. Let me give you the rundown. Took myself a couple of little notes so I can make sure I'm telling you everything as I saw it. Now, this episode is the Lauren and Derek episode. Now, Lauren, she lives in Tyler, Texas. Beautiful young lady, and she lives with her dad and her stepmom. Her mother passed away when she was younger, so she basically, at age 14, fell in love with someone she saw on MySpace. Originally, his name was Derek, and from there they just kept in contact from all those years. And so she was 14 and he was 16, and so for 8 years they carried on this relationship online. Okay, now in between that they had agreed that they could actually see other people or whatever, or what have you, and she wound up getting pregnant and had a little baby boy named Mason. Okay, so even through that, Derek was still communicating with her, but all of a sudden, I guess one of the guys she was dating had proposed to her, so she had gotten engaged and was going to marry this guy. Well, once she told Derek that, Derek said okay and took her off his friend list on Facebook and didn't want to be friends with her or talk to her because she was, preparing to marry someone else, which is rightly so, because if you're going to be committed to somebody, they didn't need to be talking like that, in that regard. So she then realized, oh my God, I can't marry this guy because I'm just so in love with Derek, and I'm so used to having his friendship and having him around to talk to that I just can't be without Derek. Okay. Now, the thing that bothers me, though, she had never Skyped with him. It was always text messages, emails, stuff like that, but no Skyping. So she didn't know if he was a real deal or not, as they always do on Catfish. And so, she has asked Neve and Max for their help to try to help her find out if this guy's legit or not. So, they do what they do, and they're looking for, putting the picture in here and finding, if he is actually who he's supposed to be or what have you. And his phone is registered to this black man, okay, and so it definitely wasn't him. And the guy that it was registered to, he was married. So it's like, who is this guy, and why is this phone coming back to somebody that it shouldn't come back as? So, of course, we're all thinking in on TV land that the guy, that it's a catfish situation, that, somebody trying to hook a person, the way that they normally do. So, of course, Neve gets on the phone and he calls this guy, and the guy's saying he is who he is or what have you, and he doesn't know why his phone is registered to this other gentleman. So, he then says, hey, he wants to try to make sure that they meet and all this kind of stuff. So he's like, okay, and I'll agree to it. Well, one of the things that Neve did find out is that when he was looking through, I guess, his Facebook and stuff like that, and messages that Derek had online, he was basically talking about, he had purchased this $39 like bird cage or what have you. And to me, I'm like, why would you buy, he bought a bird bath. I'm sorry, it was a bird bath. Why would you buy a bird bath for $39 and not buy a webcam for $19 or $24? Excuse me. Excuse me. That's what made me mad. Because I'm like, so you're letting me know up front that I'm not worth your time if you can go and buy a bird bath for birds, to having a, to put something in the yard and not even take the time to spend the money so you can actually see me. So to me, his priorities was not just weren't straight, and pretty much his finances were an issue because in the same excerpt that they looked at, he was talking about how he was having money problems. So I'm like, you're having money problems, but you're buying a bird bath. Okay, so that didn't sit too well with me. So, Neve and Max, of course, went and they met the parents, met Lauren's parents, and her dad was a sweetheart. And you can tell she's daddy's little girl, and he'll do whatever she wants. So she went off with Neve and Max, and she took a little boy with her and her best friend so he could watch her son while she got to go meet Derek. Well, they get to this house, and bum, bum, bum. Guess what? For the first time ever, it was the real person. Derek was actually Derek. Okay? So I was happy for her in that respect because she's been talking to this man for 8 years, since she was 14 years old. And finally she gets to meet him in person. So, it was wonderful. So that first night, Neve and Max, of course, left her there, and she stayed out with him until like 3 o'clock in the morning. He brought her back to her hotel and everything, and, was a perfect gentleman based on what they were saying. And so she just was head over heels in love, of course, with him. And so the next day he got to meet her son, and it was, it was really nice. But I'm still skeptical because, again, to me, any man, and this is something I've always even told my own daughter, any man that wants you, he's going to do whatever he can to see you, to come and be with you, as far as taking you out and things of that nature. And I understand, even when finances are an issue, there is always a way. There's always a way you can get around the financial part of it if you really want to be with a person. So to me, I just felt like she's I think more in love with him than he is with her. Now, even so, you know how they do like the little recap at the end of what they're doing now. So when Neve actually made the call, they were actually together. Mason, Lauren, and Derek were actually together at at Derek's house. And the follow-up is that they're talking about possibly getting married. And they actually did a special show for them because, again, this was a first for Catfish. So they're talking about getting married. So, I really hope that their marriage works. But again, I'm still kind of skeptical because, to me, like I said, I think she's more in love with him than he is with her. And just his actions to me have proven it, because to me, you've gone 8 years. Come on, you could have bought a webcam a long time ago. And he had a car, so, why did they were only like five hours away from one another. You couldn't plan a weekend or something. The way her dad is, I'm pretty sure, because he knows that she's been talking to this gentleman all these years, he would have let him stay there, not sleep with her or anything like that, but stayed in another room. So I'm pretty sure if he had made some sort of plans to come and meet her, her dad seems to look like he's a very generous person, that he would have allowed him to at least stay there so they could get to know him too. So to me, he just didn't put enough effort into them actually getting together to get together. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm waiting to see if we have a recap down the line showing that they're either that they're married happily, or that they've gone separate ways, or what has actually transpired. So I'm really hoping that it does work, because that would be a great thing that Catfish can actually have under their belt, that that they've had an actual successful relationship, even being that Neve and Max have reunited or actually gotten people together. So that's to be determined. We'll see what happens in the future. Like I said, I really hope that they stay together, but to me, my verdict is still out on this relationship, because I just feel like, if Neve had never brought her to him, they wouldn't have never seen each other unless she paid for it and unless she made the effort, because he clearly, to me, was not making a real effort. And And it could be, yes, she has a child, but if he was still talking to her and telling her that he loves her and all this kind of stuff over the internet, then the child shouldn't have anything to do with it. If you love her, you should love the child too. That's just how I look at it. You know what you're getting, if you get me. I'm not hiding anything from you up front. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But that's my recap for that particular show. And till next time, guys, have a good day. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.